Hi. If you live in Australia and you've been watching the news around the COVID-19 pandemic, then you would have heard on many occasions the references to 35,000 Australians who can't find their way home due to our locked international borders. But the really interesting thing about that number is that it never seems to change. I mean, it was 35,000 people in March 2020. It's now August 2021. And still we're hearing about 35,000 stranded Aussies. So what gives? I mean, we know there are planes full of people coming in every day, right? We know that because every week we hear about another breach of the quarantine system that allowed a returned traveller to bring more virus into our community. Now think about this for a moment. If 100 people were arriving each day, and we know the real number is actually much larger than that, but let's just be conservative. If 100 people returned each day, by now we would have had 50,000 arrivals. And yet there's 35,000 who can't seem to find their way home. Anyway, I got thinking about this and I've been doing a bit of research and I found something really interesting that I wanted to share with you. So come and check this out. So this is the Australian Bureau of Statistics website, and this page shows you the data on overseas arrivals and departures. The latest available numbers are for April and May this year. So in April, we recorded 53,910 arrivals and 63,920 departures. Then in May, arrivals increased to 114,500, whilst departures increased to 107,000. What this tells us is this: if there's truly 35,000 Aussies who can't get home, then clearly the reason is not a lack of seats on airplanes. But the more disturbing thing is that for every person who arrives, there is another who departs. This begs the question, is the 35,000 the same people that were out of the country when the pandemic started, or is this just a rolling number of people who choose to leave in a pandemic and then want to complain they can't get back? Obviously, those who leave are going to want to return at some time, and then, unless they went only to New Zealand, they'll be returning from a country with a higher prevalence of COVID than Australia. Hence, they present a risk to all unvaccinated Australians, which right now is most of us. So what are we to make of all of this? Well, perhaps our friends at Border Force should focus less on restricting arrivals and perhaps put more focus on restricting the number of departures every day. That's just my thought. But what do you reckon? Leave your thoughts in the comments section, and as always, thanks for watching.